Hello guys, my name is Yoshi. Welcome back to my 100% blind playthrough of the Tower of Doom, sometimes better known as the Tower of Nightmares, or sometimes even the Tower of Repetition, because seems like all we're doing is doing the same kind of stuff over and over again. We found another giant Magic Koopa though, so, actually no, this is different. So anyways, in the Tower of Nightmares, or I guess the Tower of Doom, whatever it's called, we're gonna be fighting giant Magic Koopa for the very first time in the battle. For those of you who are new to the battle, I should probably show you what it is. Okay, the enemy does have a bit more HP. He does not have any damage or any attack setups. Instead, Magic Koopa exclusively supports his allies. He will use a boost of about 30 to 50% damage, it doesn't really say, to all of his enemies every single turn, or whoever his friends that are nearby. And he also summons 6 Goomba allies. That's actually the main thing I'm worried about. Because if Magic Koopa ever does get an attack off, the Goombas will be so close that he'll do a lot of damage. The good news is you could potentially play a range game with him, because one unique thing is he's one of the only minions that doesn't heal at all. He doesn't attack. So technically, if you damage him from out of range, this is one of the few characters where, as long as you're not in range of the giant regular Goombas, and you keep killing them off, it's going to be very easy. And with Edge, it's super easy to take them out. But I want to try to do at least a sort of mixed speedrun strategy though. So we're going to have to do things a bit set up. Before I do any kind of setup though, I need to make sure that I can actually do this properly. I think I could actually still do this. The problem is, if I can't reach the line one turn, I'm worried what will happen. We'll start by doing this. Honestly, I don't really care what happens in this battle. If I don't make it over them to be able to range, that's fine. I think what I'll do instead is just unseen at the start of the battle. Then, sure, let's throw Peach over a bit. I'm just gonna have to stand there and do nothing, but it's fine. We'll protect our characters so they don't take any damage from anything. And we'll attack this enemy because it's the closest and most troublesome target we can hope to have to deal with. Because they can actually hit this through the invincibility, but the character cannot. I will say though, technically, if you know what you're doing, and not being either super dumb or a super or whatever, then that technically means, with the right setup, this boss, I think I mentioned to you guys before, maybe, when I got into this battle series, that, this battle right here with the extra stuff, it could technically be one of the easiest battles in the game. That's because the Iron Boss doesn't actually do much. So normally what you would just do is, you wouldn't even go near it. You would just infinitely stall in range, while the Bimbas would try to reach you, but they wouldn't be able to. And also you could just stun them like any other enemies. So once you reach the range, all you do is do this stun lock trick and that's it. Not much else to say. So you know what? That's exactly what we're gonna do. Since this guy has infinite techniques, he will of course summon minions he can on any single turn he can. Alright, I should help out a bit with the loop by attacking the next first target, which is probably that. So the idea, I think I've mentioned this before, but if you guys really are struggling with the tower, and I'm surprised there's not more people that have done videos on this, because it feels like there could be more videos on this. Well, there's a very, very super duper cheesy strategy that not a lot of people know about that not only cheeses the giant boss battle, but can essentially guarantee that it's basically guarantees that you can win the battle, regardless of what character or opponents you have to face. Because all you have to really do is know how to set up your characters. But once you know how to set up your characters, it's actually super simple. So if you ever wonder why I buy so many cooldown clocks in the first place, no, that's not a silly or super dumb setup. That's actually part of the strategy. So I'm going to mention it again in case anybody's forgot. If you are super much struggling with the... What the? That's a glitch. Okay, that actually is not supposed to happen. I know I had that guy in a stun lock. Why did he move? Is that a glitch? Because if that is, that's cheating. Just so you know, this Rabbids is not supposed to be able to stay in the stun lock. That's the idea, but apparently, for some reason, it still moved. That was weird. Out of all the times I've played this freaking game, I don't think I've ever seen them still move through all of that. That is actually surprising. Okay. Actually kind of changes I set up. I might have to actually run a bit more than I thought I would do. I'm a bit frustrated because I was hoping to have a better setup for this, but I didn't think that they would do this. Not at all. I'm actually kind of confused now. That is straight up a bug. He's not supposed to not do anything. He was not even supposed to move that turn. So I don't know why he did. I guess we could still technically get around it. The problem is I don't want to have to waste time dashing each turn. Alright, well, we need to check to make sure this is not just like a... Okay, so... Never mind. I wasn't being dumb. Either this is a bug, or this battle might just be... I'm just gonna change it. I'm still gonna maybe do a stun lock or two, but I think I might have to change my strategy up a bit.
That'll do.
I'm actually gonna go for the aggression build. So, I guess change of plans. Initially, Hoopa is supposed to be one of the easier battles, but I just realized something. I'm just gonna restart that. Well, I guess I learned something new. Apparently, just because the boss is the easiest, it doesn't mean that it's actually gonna be any easier battle. No. Alright. We're doing the normal strat now, which is basically just try to get a strawman at the start of the battle. If the strawman does not give 150%, you just want to reset at the start. Alright. Dang it. Keeps wanting to do the weaker amounts.
That'll do.
Ah, whatever. Sorry, I guess you guys probably missed the loop, but basically here's what normally happens. Normally, the boss stands there, literally does nothing, and what's supposed to happen is, instead, we use specific attacks to basically attack all the enemies, to annihilate them first turns, and typically actually try to get those as close as possible to the enemy so they can do something. And in the meanwhile, during all of that, our own characters, what they'll actually do is, I think I still want to have the protection set up, honestly. I think I still want to protect, but I'll just have to use this on the minions this time around. and do this as more of a slow battle, which is a bit tricky, but it is what it is. But anyways, so if you're wondering why I'm so confused, is because normally what's supposed to happen is once the attack setup happens, everything, including the giant magic Koopa that you saw over there, is supposed to be permanently stun locked, so they won't be able to move or do any attack. They will just only be doing other setup. That is all they'll do. That means, technically, with the right setup, we can get a loop where they literally do nothing for like 0, and then we eventually act them in between each other turn, and then put them back in a freezing stun lock. And the loop idea is use Uni, then immediately use a cooldown clock to get the effect back, so you can then immediately use yourself again, and then you have to yourself after all that. Okay, yeah, I know that all sounds complicated, but believe me, it's what you have to do. And basically, the normal strategy is to just repeat that loop. And because of the attack setup, the enemies will just not even do anything for like a few turns. And ideally, you just take them out right away. That literally is what you do. Because if you do it that way, then the enemies literally don't get to do anything. And from there, you basically just infinitely stun lock them. It's probably one of the most broken strategies in the game. If you're wondering why I'm so tediously confused, that's because, I thought that I had a perfect stun lock to ensure that they always stayed, stopped moving for a while. But, for some reason it stopped working. I don't know why. It would, but, it just happened. I believe that is a bug, just so you know. The Uni is supposed to stop all attacks and techniques from working. But instead, it actually is just working as intended, which is really weird, because it's not supposed to work like that at all. More the opposite, really. It's supposed to just be just a normal cell you can use, and then the enemies, and that's that. There's not supposed to be anything else that happens that prevents the thing from happening. So, the fact that it's not working has me frustrated, because all of a sudden our Uni strategy, it doesn't really work anymore, but I think I still have a way I could potentially get around it, but I might have to change the loop a bit, in that I just use Team Barrier instead of what I was gonna do. And maybe just protect, or maybe alternate between Uni and doing other stuff, but anyway, that's normally what I use to take out these giant bosses. I'm sorry I'm talking a lot, but believe me, it is one of the trolliest strategies in the game. I promise if you watch my other videos, you will see the stun lock in action and see how broken it really is. It literally lets you win with every giant boss, but apparently I learned a new setup. I didn't know until now, but apparently Magic Koopa's minion summon still goes through all that, despite all that. Before that setup, I thought that literally no enemy, regardless of its attack setup, can hit anyone, but now that I know for a fact that that can happen, that kind of changes the strategy a bit, because all of a sudden we're not able to do the same setup that we did before. Funnily enough, not a lot is gonna change. The big difference is I'm just gonna do the battle normally now. Anyways, that is the normal strategy, and I hope my explanation did take forever, because honestly, I think it's one of the best strategies in the game. It's so broken that it kind of chooses the whole tower. I'm not sure if Nintendo just didn't recognize what to do with it, or if rather they just did something dumb instead. I don't know. what honestly was going through their minds when they disavowed, but it's just I don't know if that always was about something, but hopefully Nintendo patches this out eventually, because that is a bit unfair. For those of you who don't know what happened, normally this guy just stands there and does nothing. When I use the ability, like, is what's supposed to happen. But instead of that happening, he moves around just like no one's business and still summon magic enemies, even though we were still mocking it, like, even though we were still doing damage to it. It's kind of funny. Like, heck, I'm gonna show you right now just for the proof of it. And also, because I can't take out these enemies in one turn anyway.
Please work.
Watch what happens when I use Cold and Claw, run back, just for safety. And then, watch what happens when I pass the turn now. See? He still moves! He still does stuff. That's not supposed to happen. Normally, this stops all effects, including techniques. So that means, you know what this means. Magic Koopa is actually a cheater. Yep. Yep, that's right, folks. Confirmed, Magic Koopa is indeed a cheater. Normally, this would just be over like any other battle and nothing else would happen, but not this time. Apparently, they want to make miserable. I just realized, because this Magic Koopa summons minions, does that mean he will never spawn portals this time? I don't know. Usually there is a portal that spawns in too, but I don't know. I'm still super confused, to be honest. Anyway. Literally no enemies had attacked. Alright. Wow, that enemy went way farther than I expected. Alright. Whatever. I'm still kind of frustrated about it, I'm not gonna lie, but I guess we just have to play around with the battle a bit more than I would thought. I'm not too worried. This is one of the easier giant bosses. I was just mostly frustrated more than anything. Like, the fact that this guy is completely immune to our effect means it doesn't really matter what we do. No matter what, he's gonna attack with something, which means he's probably gonna hit at least one of us. What? Oh my gosh, this range is terrible. If I had known more about this thing, Magic Koopa, whenever this came out, then I certainly would have done something a bit different. Certainly. Oh my gosh, I can't even hit it unless I go very close by. This might not actually be as useful as I thought unless she has this. So I guess Rose will have to alternate going between and going in front and not going in front. Whatever. Honestly, I'm not too worried. I'm just more annoyed than anything, really. Because obviously he still moves every turn. So that's gonna be the big problem. Because now that he actually does summon stuff, that means we will maybe take a bit of advantage each turn, unless we have a way to protect with Team Barrier. That's a problem, actually. Thankfully, I still have kind of an idea. I guess because of this, Peach will have to do other attacks. let's just do this. That's a self. If this guy comes again, we should probably have AoE for his own attack instead of his other abilities. It's ridiculous. Yeah. That actually means unless we do like the biggest range setup ever, someone will actually get hit for a lot of damage each turn. I'm actually kind of annoyed because we're on a timer now. If I'd seen this coming from a mile away, maybe I would have not gotten our cooldown clocks back, because I thought that it would just work normally, but not like we have much of a choice now. I think we're gonna definitely have to alternate who takes the damage then. Someone's gonna have to take damage no matter what. That means we are actually in a lot more of a precarious spot than I initially thought. Because obviously, normally, I thought it was gonna be a pretty easy battle, but I have to change up the setup now. Instead of doing what I was supposed to do, I need to do Team Barrier and then straight up run away so that when the Goombas attack, they only attack our two other characters and not anything else, and then we'll just have to damage him down. So not gonna lie, this is kind of tedious. So yeah, for the first time ever, we might not only have to use our reviver, but we are probably going to have to use multiple things. So suddenly our reviver is a lot more important than I thought. That's not what I want to do. I should actually go closer so we can use the strong man. We'll still burn for our strong mans, but we're gonna have to change up our setup slightly. Initially, our plan was just to do attacks and do other stuff, but now we pretty much are on a timer. We pretty much have only 2 or 3 turns or whatever to battle this and defeat him. If we can't defeat him by then, the damage will just be too much and we'll just start losing characters left and right. So, the new setup is Rose 100% now has to be the distraction.
So uncool.
So, she'll have to go in, purposely take damage. Then she needs to use cooldown clock.
Not bad.
And protect immediately at the start of each turn to get the barrier charges back. That's the change that we have to do. Honestly, I don't mind having these enemies up though, because we can at least put them at the match to damage him a bit. Otherwise though, we don't really have much of a setup. Okay, so I guess that means every other turn we want to alternate also using, you know, to help with clearing out the minions. And it's just the reviver, so we don't want him to be the one that here. Okay, I used that, so I can't use the other thing next turn. Basically, I just need to ensure that our characters are as far away as we can. And eventually, we're gonna have to sacrifice some of our characters and let them die otherwise.
Ugh, yawn.
Honestly, Ed should be the one that's attacking us, but he's the one with the rubber, so I don't want him to die either. But yeah, definitely a change of plans. Initially, the plan was to just do the same immunity strategy like I usually do. Now, I don't really have the ability to do that anymore all of a sudden. As a result, it kind of changes our strategy setup.
Well, come on!
I think what I actually want to do now is have Edge
Move it.
start attacking the Magic Koopa with this. This is actually a great way of doing damage to him, thankfully, so I think the battle won't last long. The problem is just whether or not we can win it or not at this fight. Okay, that one's gonna get up. So I'm actually gonna do the one with more damage this time.
Hey, cardio. Off you go.
Whatever. Okay, well, I will say that next time I do this battle, if I had to pick between which character to use, Rabbid Peach is probably the one I would use over the other stuff. Alright. Fortunately, cooldowns doesn't really matter at this point in the game. We also have a heal for one character, which we'll probably have to use on Riz to buy a bit more time. But whether or not we need to do that is still up to whether or not our team barrier will do their thing or not. Sorry if I'm a bit annoyed, sighing or being a bit annoyed, but again, I'm just so frustrated that this battle had to be like this. If this glitch really has been like this, then how long has it been out for? Well, if I had a Ranger, then probably one thing I would do differently is maybe not have characters that have to go close to this person at all and just play the range game to slowly defeat Koopa. It'd be a longer battle, but it'd be better than dying, that's for sure.
One down.
Be better than losing, that's for sure. Alright. Oh, now he just retreated for no reason.
Off you go. Oh, come on. What?
It's so heavy.
Alright. So that's yourself. If you ever do this battle, make sure you do it the proper way and also safely, because holy crap, this battle is just a nightmare so far to deal with. Okay, what do we even do now? Oh yeah, that's right. We have to just keep team burying up and hope for the best. Those will actually use our heal now.
Please work.
For this one, probably healing items, keeping some healing items might have been better than doing anything else. But, what can you do? Okay, cool. We got 150% damage, so we can go a bit faster yet. It's a good thing we have Edge, otherwise this might be even more of a nightmare than normal. I think Peach going here is probably fine enough. I definitely don't want to lose Peach super early, so that's another reason why I moved her back a bit. So wouldn't be the priority target. In fact, if anything, I should just start accepting the fact that I will take damage and just move those right in there. So, is ESC? We don't know, but we can't running yet the same way. All things considered. I'll have Viz go first with his dasher. Okay, so having a bit more damage could have been great, obviously. Oh, don't team jump. I could actually tends to do all the throwing, honestly. That'd probably be easier. Oh, okay, he just made randomly anyway. Okay. That was weird. Oh! Used the wrong ability. Whoops. Now someone's definitely taking a lot of damage. Well, thankfully, we do have a plan for this, and that plan is use this with Rose and then just run the other two characters away. Since this battle has been mostly about just running and not doing anything else, surprised if that ends up being the best strategy. To be fair, I would like to tear back a little bit farther, so maybe we'll do that. Oh, perfect. You can actually still hit there, too. That's good. Honestly, this probably was the better thing to do anyway. But yeah, note to self, Giant Magic Koopa might actually be the most frustrating opponent simply because you cannot them, although, honestly, once you know what to do, he's still not that bad. Big difference is you just have to play the battle more like you would normally, instead of, doing the same cheese you usually do. Okay. As you're now the AoE down these. Just Peach. Don't really use down just so that they get out of our way. That works out. We have one last stun man to use. We'll probably just actually kill him right here, so we probably don't need to protect again. Ah, unless it does nothing. That might be different. Oh, I think we still got him anyway. It just might be a bit more risky than normal. But remember, we still have a revive. We still have another mech. We still can do stuff. We're still very much in this. Okay, well, okay, I need to still run a bit. Jeez. That was really close to us. Okay, thankfully that didn't work. Okay, now we actually have a better lineup with Edge. Alright, let's just attack.
Yeah.
Alright, we're done. Bit of an annoying battle since we couldn't, cheese them like we did the other ones, but in the end, at least he doesn't do anything else other than using his Goombas. Huh. Well, let's hope we don't get that opponent again. Jeez Elise. I think that's the first time ever I've seen someone just be completely immune to that ability. Normally, it works regardless of which enemy. It's a self, Giant Magic Koopa, a bit more of a threat than I expected. I do have a Piers save before extra stuff, so, if I see him again, I'll just have to set up a bit differently. I'm probably still gonna use cooldown clocks. It's just gonna have to be a bit of a different setup, but otherwise, let's see. We go into here. And we see that, yep, our enemy encounter did go up. So now we just need one last giant enemy. And we are good. The enemies. Of course, encountering the last enemy is probably the most tedious encounter to do. So it could take either no time at all, or it could take forever. Thankfully, we could just do the normal tower to make this a bit easier once premium towers. But ideally, we hope we just get it within our next premium towers. If we don't, then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna add in a bonus episode where added later on top of that other video I'll just do another giant battle, and I'll be skipping to basically just whenever I'm in the battle. And I'll even have a separate video, maybe upload it on the same time as a different video, just so we can have this out of the way and done. But otherwise, we're 85% complete. 3 more weapon skins to go, and we'll be done. But, of course, we need to end the episode here, unfortunately. So, if you enjoyed, kindly subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Peace. Hopefully, we can get through the Tower of Repetition eventually. See you guys later. Bye.